want to talk about student loans real quick because I just found out something that is so frustrating. This is my current student loan balance, $21,444. My original amount was $28,500. So you can see I've already paid off around $7,000 worth of my student loans, which yes, I am really proud of. But I felt like I was doing everything correctly. And today I called up my student loan servicer, Ed Financial, and I said, hey, I just want to make sure that my overage that I am paying every month, because the amount that they quoted me that I should be paying towards my student loans every month is $250. At least somewhere around there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to pay $500 a month. I'm going to double it and pay $500 a month. So I'm paying off that principal faster. And while yes, I'm paying off that principal a little bit faster, the lady that I spoke with on the phone told me that I can't actually choose where that payment goes. So even though I'm paying $250 extra, I can't say put that amount towards my principal. And the reason being that these numbers that they set saying, here, this is the suggested amount that we think that you should pay towards your student loan is usually only really covering the bare minimum. And the reason that they do this is so that you're still accruing interest. And if you have unpaid interest because you're paying so low on your loans, that interest will then start accruing interest. And even though you're making these payments, your loan amount is going to keep going up because the interest accrues interest, and it's just a never-ending cycle. So I went in and looked, and you can see here, this is my last payment. I paid $500, $318 of that went towards my principal, around $181 went towards my interest. And if you can see here, back in October, I paid $223 in interest, which is only $25 less than my payment. And so I asked her on the phone, I said, hey, what's going on with that? And she said, you actually have unpaid interest. And I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. But I didn't realize my interest was accruing interest because I have these unsubsidized loans. So even though I graduated in 2020, right into a forbearance period, this still had interest from when I was in college. So I said, okay, great. That's definitely my bad. I didn't really realize that. But can I pay that unpaid interest now so that it stops accruing more interest? And she said, actually, no. Just like the fact that you can't go in and say, put this money towards my principal, you also can't go in and say, okay, put this money towards my unpaid interest. So even though today I have $229 of unpaid interest, I can't say, here, Ed Financial, here's $229 to cover that unpaid interest. So that unpaid interest will continue accruing interest until my loans are completely paid off. And this is the root of the entire problem right here. It is my money. It is my loan. I should be able to say where it goes. Obviously within reason. I understand it's a loan. I understand it's accruing interest. But if I have unpaid interest, I should be able to say, here is the money. Please pay the interest. Or just be transparent with me about where my money is going, what is supposed to be paid, and how to pay it.
Last year, I racked up $35,000 in credit card debt by going on a lot of trips that I didn't have the money to go on. Now, if you're doing the same thing, this is not a call out. This is a call in. Like, we're going to come together. My best advice is if you really want to go on this trip, you need to save, you need to go on side hustles, and you need to not buy the most expensive airplane ride or the best hotel or do all of the excursions. You need to get comfortable saying no to some things, which is something I struggle with, okay? Now, we've been able to pay off most of that credit card debt. We're at $7,500, but it's literally taken us 6 months and most of our money to pay the $27,000 we have. Future you is going to have some beef with present you. So let's try to minimize the damage for the future.
Making good money, working hard, and still struggling with debt is like crazy. I really applaud the people that get on this app and talk about how much debt they're in and what they're doing to cut down their debt. But let's keep it real. I don't think 80-90% of us are even living the life we want to live because of finances and debt. As most of you know, I'm a gestational surrogate. I also work full-time and I make well over 6 figures. And it's crazy that we did our budget for June, and between rent and childcare, Y'all, it was like just rent and childcare was like $5,700 a month. And yes, our childcare is very expensive because we have a special needs child. However, I feel like childcare for any parent is through the roof anyway, especially premium childcare, because if you take the cheap route, you get what you pay for. I don't want to grind all day for money. I don't even want to post every day for money. But most of us have resulted in this grind culture. Just make more money, we'll be happier. But shit just keeps going up and up and up, and we can't even catch up. My dream would be to move the fuck away. Like, my dream would be to go to Bali, go to Colombia. We lived in Colombia last year for a little bit because just you feel like you're able to stay afloat with your salary in other countries. And Bali has a autism community, by the way. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, man. Happy Thursday. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say. Shit is wild out here.
My boyfriend said he was going to propose if I paid off all my credit card debt, and we are on family vacation right now. Today's our last full day. We leave tomorrow. He has still not proposed. So let's make another payment to my credit card. He knows that I do TikTok, but he doesn't really understand the magnitude of what I'm doing here. So I don't know if that answers any questions. Also, just because we had a child before we got married does not necessarily mean anything, okay? Just because we didn't do things the way that traditional people do things doesn't mean that it's never going to happen, okay? You guys need to really stop thinking that small, for real. So I paid off my whole entire Chase Visa card. This is my Discover card now. This was a balance transfer. It had 0% interest for a long time. This is my Kiwi Pop app. It's where I keep all of my credit cards. And I can make all my payments directly from here. It is fantastic. I love it. I use it every day. So I'm going to make so this balance on this is like $2,679, something like that. I'm going to make $76, something like that. I'm going to make a payment so that it comes down to $2,600 even. Okay, there's my remaining balance. I made the payment. As always, go make a payment to your credit card. Even if you ain't getting proposed to, go make that payment.
So I found another reason why kids today are just going so much into debt for going to college, because today you can pay your tuition with a credit card. A credit card. Like, that is the worst idea I've ever heard of in my life. Unless you're like, can pay it off immediately, you're doing it for the points or whatever. Other than that, kids, if you're listening, do not ever pay your tuition with a credit card. That is the worst idea I've ever heard. Like, we need to be teaching kids this. Like, absolutely not. Do not.
My husband and I are approximately $234,059 in debt. And I know what you're thinking, holy shit. But let me just start by saying that's not all credit card debt or unsecured debt. Before I go any farther, I'm just going to break down to you what that debt actually is. To start, I have roughly $39,000 in student debt. I have a bachelor's in marketing from Penn State University that I no longer use because I'm a stay-at-home mom. But for my bachelor's, I owe $31,651 in debt. And then after graduating, I did start to pursue my master's, but once I became a mom, I put that on hold and I haven't gone back. From the progress that I've made on my master's, I have $8,941 in debt. I do have one credit card. The balance on that is $3,467. I had it paid off around this past fall. Last July, I became a stay-at-home mom when we had our second daughter. And shit happens. Expenses accrue. We didn't have the money, so it went on the credit card and I ultimately racked it back up. Because times are tough, y'all. I'm sure we all get it. My husband does have one credit card. It's at approximately $1,000. I don't know the exact balance because it's his credit card, his login, and I don't have any access to that. But I know his limit is somewhere around $1,000 and it's about at its limit. That's all the unsecured debt that we have. The rest of our debt comes from a home loan. We own our house. We owe approximately $150,000 on our home. And B, we have a home equity loan on our home, and that's at $39,000. We took the home equity loan out when I became a stay-at-home mom so that we could pay off what credit card debt we had at the time, one personal loan that we had, and we also paid off my car. So we essentially did that to take a bunch of interest rates and turn them into one smaller interest rate instead. So that's where this $234,059 essentially all comes from. And I'm basically telling you guys all of my secrets because I'm going to turn this into a series. I've seen some other people do it and they've had success from it, so fuck it. Why not? Not only do I want to turn this into a series, but I want to help maybe somebody else that's in a similar financial position as me. Because like I said, times are tough, shit gets hard, and we all accrue debt. It happens. But maybe by me posting this series, somebody who else needs some motivation to start working on their debt, maybe this will give them that motivation. And they'll start making strides to do the same thing. I would never ask anybody for money. I'm just not that type of person. The only thing that I'm asking for by doing this series is to maybe engage or follow me so I can get to 10,000 followers and become a part of the Creator Rewards program. Right now, I'm at roughly 7,400 followers, so I'm getting there. I do post TikTok shop content, but it doesn't do that well. So another great way to help would be engage with my TikTok shop content. So maybe it gets pushed out to more people. And if you're trying to do something similar or you're interested in this type of content, watching people pay their debt off, maybe give me a follow so that you can keep up with my weekly posts about it. To the people that already follow me, most of you guys already know that I'm on a debt payoff journey. I've mentioned it in previous videos before, so I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You are truly wonderful. I don't have any expectations. I don't know what I'm expecting out of this, but I think it would be foolish to not try because I want to give myself, my husband, and my kids a better life. My husband works all that he can, and I would love to take some of the burden off of him and to be able to give him more time with our girls as well. He doesn't have a TikTok, so he doesn't know about this. Anything that I were to make would be a complete surprise. So if this goes somewhere and it works, I cannot wait to see the look on his face. He's going to cry alligator tears. If you watch this the full way through, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I guess keep an eye out for next week's post to see if this went anywhere. Love you.
Are a handful of comments on the last couple videos that I've posted with this sentiment that people who can't afford to pay upfront for an expensive university shouldn't go, or that it's a dumb decision. I want to make one thing clear. I do not regret taking out student loans to go to Notre Dame at all. In fact, I actually think that it was one of the smartest decisions that I made as an 18-year-old. The idea that the only people that should go to expensive elite universities in the United States are the people with families that have the wealth to afford it is ignorant. For many people, going to a good university is the most effective way to improve social mobility. And that is proven. Are there great options that are cheaper than Notre Dame? 100%. But Notre Dame was the best option for me. So instead of telling people to only go to colleges that they can afford upfront, let's focus on making college more affordable, or addressing predatory practices by loan providers, or capping interest rates. There are ways to fix this, and it's not blaming the 18-year-olds that are taking out thousands of dollars of loans. And I stand by that.
I don't think people understand how fucked up it is that we just let kids rack up huge amounts of debt going to college and getting degrees that they'll never be able to get good jobs with. I talk to kids all the time that have racked up a huge amount of debt getting a useless degree, and they're really thinking about going on and getting an MBA that's also useless, that will rack up even more debt for them, and they've never even had a job where they've made good money at all. And nobody in the education system has ever really produced real work in the real world that they've been paid for. It's all these bureaucrats that have just been living in this educational bubble, giving terrible advice to kids that doesn't make any sense, is not translatable to making money in the real world. It's really dark that we're putting so many kids into financial slavery, not even giving them a good shot at making good money with real valuable degrees. I'm going to say it, and I'm probably going to get banned, but your gender studies degree was not a good investment. And it was fucked up of the government as a kid to allow you to take out a really big loan that you're going to be stuck paying for the next 20 years when you're not going to be able to find a job that pays you $100K for getting that degree and putting in that work. Meanwhile, I work with people all the time that have no college degree but have 6 months of sales experience working at a used car dealership. They're getting jobs making six figures working in tech sales. The education system is not a place for smart people. If you're a young person and you've never been around successful people, then it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the educators around you, the college professors, know what they're talking about. But they clearly don't, because they ended up as college professors. That is not a successful outcome for a life. That's a perpetual state of childhood. It's like adults that you see getting excited about going to see children's movies. This is not the result that you want for your life. If you want to be successful, but you don't have those positive role models, you don't have wealthy or successful people in your life, and you want to work in an interesting job in an interesting industry, follow this channel. I'll help you get the career success that you're looking for.
Student loans conversation is way more nuanced than people are making it, and you should be way more pissed than you actually are. No contact from the loan servicing company, no nothing, just got an alert that my credit score dropped 200 points. I just paid off 20 grand in debt. Everybody has their own reasons. However, mine is interesting, and I really want you to sit down, buckle up, and put on your listening ears, because I need you to understand a concept of something. When my daughter and I are victims of a federal crime, and we are subjected to the federal justice system, we are entitled. There are programs specifically put in place for people who are victims of federal crime. They would not. They refused blatantly. And a lot of you remember the emails I sent, but a lot of you don't remember actually how long I dealt with these people before it got to that point. How much stringing me along, giving me false information, getting my hopes up only for them to be fucking obliterated by these people. The federal government gives no fucks about you. The federal government will sooner default on you than allow you to default on them. They're trying to actively destroy the middle class. Tariffs are making everything more expensive. We are a fucking sham of a country. We're an embarrassment. And we're fucking vulnerable as fuck. And Trump, Mr. Defaulted on every loan he's ever received in his life, is now demanding that we pay back loans at the time where we are in a recession, where people are struggling so hard to survive. And those of you who support that man, and those of you who say shit like, well, you took out the loan, it's your responsibility to pay it back, I paid mine back. This is not the same time. I say gas prices in the 80s and then gas prices now. The only thing they have in common is the core topic, which is gas. But they're entirely different circumstances. You guys are trying so fucking hard because you're so diabolical to make people feel bad when you're barely fucking surviving as is, because you can't open your eyes, you have no accountability, and you can't admit you made a mistake. And I, for one, am tired of paying the consequences of really fucking stupid people.
So the reason why I'm $150,000 in student loan debt for an undergrad degree is because, number one, I changed my major 6 times. Number 2, I transferred through 3 schools. And number 3, both of those made it take 6 years for me to get my degree. Every single adult, guidance counselors, financial services, family members, told me to take out student loans. I didn't have money. I thought that this degree was the ticket to my success, and I figured that once I complete this degree, I'm going to have money to pay off those loans. And this is free money, is what I thought in my head. I was dumb. I will say I have no regret. I can't undo it. And I figure there's people out there that were the same way, dumb, naive, kind of misled, didn't know anything about college, didn't know anything about loans. So let me know. Goodbye.
I'm going to be a little vulnerable on this app right now, so give me a break. I'm alive, but I'm not living. That might sound really morbid to you, but I promise I'll explain. I have been looking for a job since May of 2024, and even before that. And I've made it very, very far with some of these companies. I've done projects for them, like final interview, everything's been going really great. And then people will just ghost you, or, they'll tell you you've been rejected. Back to my thing about being alive and not living. I just feel like I'm missing out on so many experiences because I don't have the money, or I'm not living in a place that I desire to be. And although it's easier said than done, I just can't stop comparing myself to other people. It's or thinking about other things that I could have done and how I could have gone about things. I know myself as a person, and I know that I put in a lot of hard work and I really care about others, but it has me questioning my worth. Maybe I'm not as valuable as I You know, I hate Greg, hold on. Just a very lonely feeling when I feel like everyone has their life together and I'm like trying to get mine together, and I've been really patient and I'm waiting for the right opportunity to fall in my lap. And I mean, like, I'm trying to put in all the effort that I can, but it comes to a point where it's like, what more can I do? Like, I feel like it's like putting my life on hold to a different extent that I've never had, and I absolutely hate it. I don't know what to do. And I just see the worth in myself, and despite me being really upset right now, it's like, I just want someone to see it in me. I want someone to also believe in me. I have the skills, I'm not stupid, I love everything that I do, and it's just so hard to not compare yourself to other people. I hope someone else understands, because it's just a horrible feeling.
Is anyone else applying to jobs and going through the exact same thing? A job posted this week, over 100 applicants. Posted 5 hours ago, over 100 applicants. Okay, this is crazy. 1 hour ago, over 100 applicants. I actually feel like applying on LinkedIn and Indeed is dead. Well, it's alive. You'll just be applying against thousands of people. In 2025, I think I'm just going to be prioritizing networking, meeting people in person, making meaningful connections, and also private job boards. If you're in Toronto, the platform that I'm going to be joining is called Terra. Right now, it's just on early sign up. It's a networking app that's coming to Toronto where we're going to be able to see events in real time, and you're going to be able to match with people who actually have the same interests you have. But the part that I am the most excited for is the private job board, because I need to start applying to these jobs that are on these boards before they make it to LinkedIn. And there's thousands of applicants.
22 years old, and I have about $100,000 worth of debt to my name. About $52,000 is towards my car loan, while $24,000 is towards my credit cards, and about $8,000 is towards my student loan. Regarding my credit card debt, I chose debt settlement, so my balance used to be like $40,000, and they took away all interest charges, and now it's only like $24,000. So I am actively trying to avoid bankruptcy right now. I don't want to file for bankruptcy at 22 years old. I know a lot of people are advising me to do this, but I just don't think that's smart if I can actually pay it off. Debt settlement was the best option for me for several reasons. One being it's more private. It isn't on your record the way bankruptcy is. Debt settlement does negatively affect your credit score, but it is usually less severe, and the time span of it affecting your score is much shorter than bankruptcy. Debt settlement can also reduce the amount you owe, while with bankruptcy you might have to give up some of your assets like your car and like your jewelry. I think that if you have a larger debt balance than I do, then yeah, bankruptcy might be the right route for you, but in my case, I am able to afford my debt settlement payments. I also feel like with the debt settlement route, you are open to future business loans or future car loans, while with a bankruptcy on your report, you're very unlikely to be open to those things.
Bro's 100K in debt. Now, I do have about 12K worth of balances, which again, I'll just pay off. It's not that big of a deal. But the difference between me and most people is that I can stomach having 5 figures worth of credit card debt that at 0 interest, because I know I'm attempting to make money off that money, or I'm finding an opportunity and taking advantage of it. Like I said, you have to be financially responsible. Most people cannot stomach going to sleep at night being 10, 20, 30K in debt because you're holding a balance at 0 interest. But if you know what you're doing, there's smart moves. It doesn't matter if the move doesn't pan out exactly like you want it to, or it does. It is a good opportunity that you identified and you're taking advantage of it. So most people can't stomach that, and that's completely fine. Don't do this then. But if you can, this is something that can truly help you move with speed on opportunities that you find. And again, nothing's better than speed when it comes to trying to make money or seizing an opportunity.
So in August of last year, I was 100K in credit card debt. You can see all the totals here. You can see the months here. And I grew up with Dave Ramsey parents. They taught me credit cards are evil, debit always, only. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. But here's why that 100K in credit card debt was actually positive. One, there's this little thing called return on ad spend. You run paid advertisements. For every dollar you put in, you get X number of dollars back. That was a very profitable campaign. Like if you had a magic machine that was like, you put $1 in, we give you $2 back. How many times would you do that? Unlimited times. Number two, this one is credit card specific. American Express gives you 4 times points on paid advertisements. Now I've used some, I've made some more back, but I will not be paying for a flight for a very long time. So my recommendation to you, get a credit card ASAP if you don't have one. Use it like a debit card. Take advantage of the bonuses, and you will be earning back while building your credit score, which helps you as an adult. I should probably have an affiliate link for you, but I don't.
Hi guys, my name is Ileana, and I am in 6 figures of debt. From credit cards to personal loan to student loans. And it's not a very pleasant time. I have a goal for this year to pay off my credit cards and my personal loans. So by the end of December, so I have a goal. I'm one of those people who needs a goal to keep me motivated. And I'm videotaping this because not only will this help me keep track, but it will also help me to keep motivated. Because sometimes even when I do have a goal, I don't have any motivation to keep going. So that is the reason why I am recording myself. Right now, I am exercising or walking because not only am I trying to pay off my debt, but also I have noticed that when I have dopamine, which you lots of time get when you're exercising or doing something. Exercising, dopamine rushes in and you feel a lot happier. And I notice when I add more debt or I eat more, which as you can see, I eat a lot, I tend to fall into depression, or I need something to occupy my mind, or I'm just bored. And that's really bad because I shouldn't feel that way normally. So I'm trying to exercise to get that dopamine in me so I can feel happy. I don't have to use buying things as an excuse to give me that short-term happiness. And I hope you guys will join me if you are feeling any of those things. Heck, even if you're just feeling bored, just go out and take a walk, because honestly, it does help. Plus, doing anything at this point is better than doing nothing. So I hope you guys use this advice, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
As of January 3rd, I am in over $100,000 in debt. It is a mix of school loans, personal loans, and credit cards. Here's the breakdown. So for Miss Sally Mae, I owe $48,708. For Nelnet, I owe $50,140. I have 2 personal loans. One is for my car, and that one is $10,507. And then my personal loan is $4,703. And then I have 3 credit cards. The first one is $1,326. The second one, which is Best Buy, that one is $3,130. And then the last one, which is my Apple Card, that one is $2,821. I do not know the exact amount, but it's around $120,000. I am sharing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, so you can be less embarrassed about your debt that you have. And secondly, because 2025 is going to be the year that I'm actually going to actively pay down my debt. Last summer, I paid down a chunk of things that I'm not carrying into 2025, thank God. And so I'm planning on doing the same thing, taking my income and throwing it towards my credit cards or the things that have the highest interest, and just kind of snowballing and doing it that way.